All right, 11 value-adding strategies to add to your realtor relationship toolbox. Man, you're in for a treat. This is going to be value-packed, jam-packed with some actionable things to add value to your agent relationships. I'm your host, Steve Kiles. You're listening to the Loan Officer Leadership Podcast powered by the Mortgage Marketing Animals. And hey, listen, there's so much value. And what we're going to talk about, I'm actually going to break it up into two podcasts. One of the things that I've really been honing in on and we've been working on is the ability to continue to add value to our agent relationships. And a couple of things I want to say at the beginning of it is this. You're the prize. So you're not looking for something else to do. I always hear people say, or I'll hear people say, hey, I can't make a phone call. I can't reach out to the agents unless I give them something like, hey, I'm going to help you build your business, or I've got to have this fancy widget or tool before I reach out to agent relationships and partners and realtors. And one of the things I want to do is just encourage you with this. First off, the person who makes the most money is whoever has the most calls, who makes the most offers, and who is closing for the business. And listen, they're typically the person that's going to have the most no's. But one of the things I want to really encourage our listeners is this. Don't wait till you have something before you make the call. If you were to say, Steve, Carl, team, what's the number one way people make money? It's outbound phone calls and asking for the business. And it doesn't mean cold calls. I tell you, we really, man, there's ways in your business. Most of you, if you would just make the calls that are needed, would never have to make another cold call. We just have to be intentional with those calls. And then as you're building relationships, know that you're enough. Like you don't have to have a widget. And one of the things is as you get consistent, as you're making the calls, there are things that we do to add value to our agents to make it more sticky, but it's not something I have to have before I make the call. Listen, it's as simple as on Mondays to our agent partners that are qualified. We call it a qualified focus 40. We're calling to ask, did you work or did you play? If we're looking to meet up with new agents we don't know, but they are qualified, we're simply saying, hey, I'm a student of success. I'd love to hear your story. And we're looking to have a coffee appointment. And then once you're building these relationships, like I've got agent partners and our teams have partners and relationships they've had for years, there's things you can do to add value. And I want to go through 11. And what's really cool is we talked about these on the podcast. So I'm going to talk about the strategy, and then I'm going to reference the podcast episode. And one of the things that we're doing that we've found worked is that we're just implementing one a month. So what is one value add that we can put in our repertoire so that we're offering it and providing a stickiness to the qualified Focus 40 agents we're currently working with. And then we're adding it to our onboarding process for the new agents who join and partner with us. And so, look, don't go in and say, I'm going to try to implement 11. Nope. Implement one every 30 days. And what you'll do is over the course of a year, have a massive arsenal and stickiness to your business because of the immense amount of value you're adding. And remember, if you're just getting started, just make the call. And then as you've been consistent in making the Monday Thor's Hammer calls, and look, if you don't know what that is and you don't know that strategy, go to freedomplanningcall.com. Myself, Carl, Kristen, somebody on the team will jump on a 45-minute call and we'll walk you through the daily success plan. This is really more of an advanced, once we've been doing it, these are things that are making our agent partners even more sticky. So I broke it up into two episodes simply because there is a lot of information. And then one of the unique things I did was as I was working on it, it's like, look, every one of these we've done a podcast episode on, at least 10 out of the 11. And so I'm going to reference a podcast. So first off, listen to the 11, then decide which one you're going to do, and then go back to that podcast episode to learn more about what you can do to add these to your relationship toolbox for your agent partners. All right, so look, let's get started. The first one, MoveTube. I got to tell you, some of you may say, Move what? What are you talking about? MoveTube. Just had Frank Garay, him and Kevin have come out with a brand new product. unbelievable product. My team and I have signed up for it. Our branch has signed up for it, and our network, because I tell you the immense amount of value. So one of the things we've recently added, it's actually our focus for the month in adding value to our agent partners, is MoveTube. Episode 294, Frank and I go into great detail about what is MoveTube and how is it advantageous for your agents. And here's what it does is it gives your agents, they have to be connected to you, and it gives them the ability to get their listings on a streaming Apple, it's not Apple, but a streaming TV, like it's Roku TV, it's Apple TV, it's Fire TV, it's Google Play. They're getting something like 2,000 downloads a week for homeowners and clients downloading the MoveTube channel. And what we're able to do is partner with our agents, and they can actually put their listings with their branding on the MoveTube channel. And so if you got two agents competing for a listing, and all things equal, one of them says, I'm going to get your listing on MoveTube TV, and here's how we're going to help drive additional traffic to it, you're going to find that they're going to win the offer more than not. And so it's a huge value add. MoveTube is a way for the agent to get their brand and their listing on Roku and digital streaming TV and help get more exposure and win more listings. And so you got to listen to the episode. Great product. We're seeing massive success. We're actually getting agents reply back and say, man, I just want another listing because it gave us the competitive advantage and an edge. It does listing flyers. It does all kind of stuff, open house flyers. But it's super slick. I think it's a couple $100, super inexpensive for the value that it brings. So that's number one, MoveTube, add it to your toolbox. Second one, open house strategy, which is really cool because you can combine a couple of these with the open house strategy. Like YouTube or MoveTube has a flyer that you can download, and one of the next ones, we've got a CRM we're going to talk about. You could do some AI digital follow-up, but I love the open house strategy, episode 292 that Carl and I talked about, because what it really does is you're able to partner with your agents, and it doesn't even require you to attend the open houses. You provide a gift card for everybody who registers, and then you get the list of leads. You do a $25 gift card. And then on Mondays, you're doing the follow-up, working to convert those who came through the open house. And let's say you've got 5, 6, 7, heck, 10 agents working an open house over the weekend. You literally would get 10 sets of leads for you to call on Monday to help convert and bring those converted leads back to your agent partners. Carl and I talk at length on episode 292, the open house strategy. So when I think about value, man, there's no greater value than me partnering with an agent to help them convert even more of the leads they've already got, and oftentimes are not as followed up on as they would hope. So number one was MoveTube, episode 294. Number two is the open house strategy, episode 292. Third one, we just did it a few weeks ago. I love this, the loan officer CRM.ai. Man, what a game changer. I love what Chris Johnstone, we did an episode 295 and 296, and he said, what you're going to find is there's going to be loan officers who embrace and adapt the AI powered loan officer, and then those who quickly fade. And I got to tell you, just a remarkable product and way to add value to our agent partners, because what we're doing is in the loan officer CRM, which I've purchased for my team, and loan officers in my branch are purchasing for themselves. I mean, it's super cool. It's a great tool because the sizzle word is AI, but you can create journeys, and don't think of it like a CRM, like it's my total database. It's more like a sales funnel that's taking qualified referrals and relationships. And what it's able to do is help convert even more of the unconverted, because AI takes over the conversation until you get them to book into a scheduled appointment. And so one of the value adds that we're adding to our agent partners is our ability to help convert even more of the relational leads they send, the database leads, and as well as the open house leads, utilizing the power of AI to create and stir up conversations and do automated follow-ups If we could count on ourselves, we'd be doing, but the truth is we don't. So it's a phenomenal way to make sure that you're following up and converting even more of the leads that are coming in. We talked about it on episode 295 and 296. So Move tube number one, open house strategy number two, loan officer CRM number three. Number four is the database activator. I love to call it that. Man, I'll tell you what, just a few weeks ago, I was talking to some of our top agent partners and in just asking, hey, what are your expectations for this next year? What are you thinking about? What are you doing currently to get more business? And you know, it was wild. You would think that top producing agents are actively working their database, but it is shocking how few have a process to work their database. These are people that have already closed with them, people that have already done business with them. And so just adding that as a tool belt or a tool in your tool belt to work with your agents and to add value is the conversation around, hey, I've got a database activator. Let's get together and let me show you what we're doing to see 1 per 100 in your database come in as a closed loan every single month. So if you got 300 people in your database, this is something that in our coaching program, we see for every 100 past clients you have, you'll see about one transaction closed per month. And so we're not talking about it enough. And man, you realize it's massive. We should be talking to our agent partners about what are you doing to activate your database to close even more without making a single additional cold call. And we see massive results on people who love to hear from you. They're great phone calls. All we've got to do is follow our database process, which is call them once a quarter by calling 2 letters of the alphabet a week, mail them monthly, periodic texts for birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, and weekly email updates. That alone will activate their database. And it's a huge value add because it gives them a way for us to help them activate what they've already got and add value to our agents. So number one, move tube. Oh, hey, and that is the database activator talked about it. It's the day Wednesday of the DSP episode 176. So what you're doing is essentially showing them what we're doing to activate our database, episode 176. Hey, and if it's too far back, wherever you're streaming, go to loanofficerleadership.com and you can search. We've got every episode all the way back. Sometimes where you're listening to the episodes may or may not go back to the 100s, but you can at loanofficerleadership.com. All right. So we got MoveTube, Open House Strategy, Loan Officer CRM, Database Activator. Number 5 is unconverted leads. What a remarkable strategy. What a remarkable way to add value. Carl and I talk about it on 297. When you're making your Monday calls and talking to your qualified Focus 40 agents, asking them, hey, who do you have? Who have you run into or who have you been working with over the last 90 days that you felt like should have moved forward but didn't, that I could call so that we could help wake them up and get them into closing, get them into title with you. It's a great way to have a conversation and add value by helping your agent partners convert their unconverted leads. Who have you worked with in the last 90 days that should have moved forward but didn't? And asking that question is a value add. It's a way to go in and say, listen, I'm not just somebody who thinks you're a great partner. I'm somebody who is a great partner. Let's wake up these unconverted leads because, look, I'll tell you this, agents are great at making conversation. They're great at getting the initial leads, but most agents don't really have a consistent way to stay connected to old or unconverted leads. And one of the tools in our tool belt is it's a process. We are constantly looking at our 30-day-old leads or 60-day-old leads or 90-day-old leads and our year-to-date old leads that we can wake up. So let's talk to our agent partners about who they have that we could help them convert so that we could help them get to closing another time this month. Carl and I talk about it at length in episode 297. So number one's MoveTube. Number two's Open House Strategy. 3, Loan Officer CRM. 4, Database Activator. And 5 is the unconverted lead strategy. So, hey, with that, I've got 6 more to go, but we're going to talk about them in next week's episode of the Loan Officer Leadership Podcast. So listen, if you've got you're saying, hey, Steve, I'd love to, learn more about some of these strategies, you can absolutely book a time with our team. Go to freedomplanningcall.com, freedomplanningcall.com. We'll walk you through each one of these strategies, get you the resource tools, what you need to at least learn more. You can also start by listening to the episode that we talked about for each one. And man, I've got to tell you, I'm excited because these next six are even better than the first five. So tune in next week to the Loan Officer Leadership Podcast, where we go over the other six strategies, the other six ways we're adding value to our agent relationships and building a massive toolbox. Go to freedomplanningcall.com if you need help with any of this. We'd love to help you. And remember this, anything worth doing is worth doing badly. Just get started. See ya.